give us full details when we get to the crime scene. And what happened, that colleague of ours jumped into the vehicle that I was driving, and then the three of us drove to the crime scene at Brandley.
Was there anyone else that accompanied you?
Yes, Commissioner, we were joined by two other colleagues of ours a little later at the crime scene. They were instructed to be with us at the crime scene. We were initially told by the brigadier through the colleague that has just given us the instruction from the brigadier that it appeared as if the crime scene was huge and it will need more than 3 members to attend to, which is why we had to be joined by 2 extra detectives, which was Warrant Officer Mapalane and Sergeant Kosi.
And you then, in paragraph 14, deal with what you observed when you arrived on the scene. Can you tell us, give us more detail on that? And this is now the Q Bramley scene.
Yes, Commissioner. When we arrived at the crime scene, we saw a lot of police vehicles marked and unmarked. And then we asked as to who was going to brief us, and then we arrived there. We found the TRT team, which is Tactical Response Team, and then the Provincial Tracking Team that were already at the crime scene. And then we requested to be briefed before the scene could be handed over to us.
And what did they tell you as part of the brief?
They told us that there were 3 people that had already been arrested in the Viano that was parked in the center of the crime scene at the street. And then they told us the information that they had at a particular time.
Sorry, Witness A.
Sorry, Witness A. Mercedes-Benz Viano. I just want to give the full description as it appears from the statement. Apologies for interrupting you mid-sentence. Can you please repeat the last thing you were saying?
Yes, Commissioner. I was saying when we arrived there, we were briefed that there were 3 people that had already been arrested. And then furthermore, the members that were briefing us, they told us that those 3 people were arrested in a Mercedes-Benz Viano, that is a V-Class bus Viano that was parked in the middle of the street.
And what else did they tell you about the Viano?
And then they told us that this Viano belonged to one of the people that were arrested at the crime scene. They also told us that there is exhibits, or there are exhibits that were recovered from the Viano.
Okay.
And furthermore, they told us that these 3 suspects that were arrested there are suspected to be connected to the murder that had just occurred 2 hours or a few hours earlier in Vereeniging. The murder that I mentioned when I started on my statement of Amar Swart.
Now,
and they told us that they were going to hand over the scene to us, but promised that they will keep giving us information as we progress with the crime scene.
Okay, in paragraph 15 of your statement, you deal with interviews with the suspects. Can you just elaborate on that?
That is correct, Commissioner. We started interviewing the suspect individually, and then we found that one of them was a police officer that was stationed at Johannesburg Central under Detective Branch. And then he introduced himself to us as Michael Puletau. And then I personally asked him if he was not supposed to be at work, as it was a working day. And he told me that he actually is on duty.
Continue.
And the second suspect that was arrested with him introduced himself as Musakikane of Q, the house that I didn't give address to. He told us that he was a friend of Tau, and he was together with Tau when he was arrested in Viano. And the third person that I will not name because he was not charged. He was released because we could not link him to the murder or any other crime that happened on that day. But he was arrested on that day because he was found with them. We had to ask him questions and see if he was connected to the crimes. But he did give his names to us.
And what did he say? What reason did he give for why he was with Tau and Kekana?
He told us that he knows Musa Kekana. Then he told us that Musa Kekana had just called him as he was coming to him, and then he said he needs a rim, the rim of a Mercedes-Benz. He told him that one of his friends was stuck in Vereeniging site in the Val, Kliprivier, with the Mercedes-Benz that had a damaged rim. Therefore, they wanted the rim from him to go back to the Val to assist him.
And then, insofar as the Viano is concerned, you said earlier you were briefed by the team that was on site that Tau, one of the suspects, was the owner of the Viano. Did one of the suspects take ownership of the Viano?
Yes, Tau did agree that the Viano is his.
Okay.
But he then told us that he was not driving it at the time when they were arrested. Musa was the driver.
Okay. In paragraph 16, you continue with what was observed on the scene, but you mentioned specifically items that were found at the scene. Can you deal with that?
That is correct, Commissioners. When we got there, we found that there were recoveries that were found in the Viano. Among the recoveries that were there were 4 cell phones, with one cell phone being a small phone that we refer to as a burner phone.
Can you...
Says that...
Oh, please continue. I wanted to ask what a burner phone is.
We refer to it, Commissioner, as a burner phone in a sense that it does not have internet capabilities. It does not have... It's those small phones that you do not have internet capabilities on. Usually in the line of work that I'm in, we find suspects that they will have their smartphone, which is their personal phone, and they will use this so-called burner phone, which does not have the internet capabilities, with a belief that when they use it, it's not easy for them to be traced.
I thought...
So it is usually referred to as a burner phone.
I thought this related to the phone not having been registered properly. The verb used colloquially being that it has not been recorded. So a burner phone has nothing to do with it.
I won't be technical about it, Commissioner. I'm just saying it the way we understand it in the line of work that I do.
Thank you, Witness A. Insofar as the burner phone is concerned, did anyone claim ownership of the burner phone?
No, commissioners, no one of them wanted to claim ownership of the phone.
And insofar as the other 3 phones that you found on the scene, what were you told about that?
The 3 other phones, one of those phones was Michael Puller's phone. He said it was his. The other one was Musa's phone. He agreed that it is his. Then the other one, they said it belonged to the person that was arrested in Clipperfield.
And this would be the 3rd suspect, which we'll get to later.
This will now be the 3rd suspect that we'll get to later, correct, commissioners?
Okay, and then in paragraph 17, you speak about additional material that was found on the scene in addition to the cell phones. Can you elaborate on that, please?
Yes, commissioners. There was also a rim of a Mercedes-Benz that was also found in the Viano. And then when the suspects were asked about it, they said it belonged to the person that we didn't arrest. And then the explanation was that it was going to be used to assist the person that was stabbed in Clipperfield in the Val.
Okay, what else did you find?
And then we also recovered 15 used cartridges of a rifle that were in a plastic bag, a transparent plastic bag, also in the vehicle.
Now, in your statement, you referred to these 15 cartridges as the infamous 15 cartridges. Why do you call it that?
Yes, commissioners, these 15 cartridges were then later going to assist us to link this suspect to the murder scene in Vereeniging or to the firearms that would later be found in the house in the crime scene that is also in Brandley, at a house that I didn't give address of.
Okay, and in addition to the cartridges, did you find any firearms?
Before you step off the cartridges, is it normal to find a collection of empty cartridges like this?
No, Commissioner, it is very abnormal, to the extent that we did ask the owner of the vehicle as to why these cartridges were carried around like the way they were. And his explanation was that they belong to his brother, who is a professional hunter, a sports, he gave a term, he said he's a professional, he belonged to a club that do sport hunting. Then we asked him, why do you carry them around? Then he said he was using the vehicle a previous day, then he forgot them in a car.
But did they explain, or did he explain why the brother would have collected these and placed them in a plastic bag?
No, Commissioner, he failed to explain that part of the question because we did ask him. He failed. Totally failed.
Is it so that empty cartridges are found after a firearm has been fired? They fall off. As you fire, an empty cartridge falls off. Is that not so?
That is correct. That's what I understand with the firearms. If you fire, then the cartridge will fall off the ground.
So for cartridges to be found, collected and placed in a plastic bag, it would mean that someone must have picked up those empty cartridges and placed them in the plastic bag.
That is correct, Your Worship. That is what we concluded. We thought that it means someone collected these cartridges from the crime scene, maybe for the purposes to dispose of them, so that they cannot be linked to the firearm.
And
Not
yes.
knowing that they will be arrested before they get rid of the cartridges.
Or I think right at the beginning of your last sentence, you talk about linking. So does it mean that from an empty cartridge, you are able to tell what firearm was used to fire or to shoot? There is.
I would say
Yes.
yes, commissioners. It is like that. You get the firearm, and then you get the cartridge, and then you can compare to say this cartridge was fired from this firearm.
So you must have both. You must have a firearm and you must have the empty cartridge.
That will be a technical question to answer.
All right.
But for us, it is very good if you have them both.
Yes.
Sometimes you can only find the firearm, you take it to ballistics. If you're lucky, they will tell you that the other crime scene has got the empty cartridge that is connected to your firearm. Then they do a linkage. And then you can do, maybe you get a cartridge without a firearm, then they connect it vice versa. So with us it was good because we got the cartridge and the firearm. So I think it was easy for someone who was going to do the linkages in that sense.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Witness A, you say in your statement that the cartridges likely would not have been found had the team not apprehended the suspects that day. Is that what you were referring to earlier?
That's correct, Commissioners. That's what we thought as a team to say. These cartridges were going to be disposed of before we arrest the people.
Okay. I had asked you find the empty cartridges, but did you find any firearms on the suspects?
Yes, Commissioner. There was one firearm that was found inside the Viano in a sling bag, and then it belonged to Michael Puletau. He told us that was his firearm, a licensed firearm, a private licensed firearm.
And what type of firearm was it?
It was a pistol.
Just pause there for a moment. Was Witness A, it's Commissioner Kumalo here. The firearm that was found in the Viano that you say you were told belongs to Dow, was it a service pistol or his private pistol? And the second question, was it licensed? Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. This was his private personal firearm and it was licensed to him.
Thank you, Commissioner.
And maybe just to continue on that question, Commissioner, we did ask him about his service pistol as a police officer who was on duty, was supposed to be having it. Then he told us that he had long surrendered it back to the employer. He didn't carry it around.
Thank you. You then also speak about a license plate that was found. Can you elaborate?
Yes, Commissioner. Among the things that were recovered or found in the Viano was a set of license plate, the registration number, that was later linked to the vehicle or the Mercedes-Benz that was found where the third suspect was arrested in the Val. at Cape Rivier. That will mean the Mercedes-Benz was driving with a wrong plate number wherever it was at that given time.
Now, I just want to place paragraph 18 of your statement on record, given that this is still an ongoing matter. You say, any further information regarding the scene is not relevant to the Commission's work and may compromise the case if disclosed publicly at this stage. Do you want to elaborate on that?
Yes, Commissioners, because more of information is the details that I think might compromise the case, as the case is at a critical stage at court.
Thank you, Witness A. You then move on to the second scene, which is still part of the Bramley case number, which is the house in Kew that you referred to earlier. Can you tell us what transpired there?
This is what we refer to as scene 2 at Bramley, where now the second suspect, which is Musa Kekana, resided. In this crime scene, I didn't attend it myself because I had to go and attend the crime scenes that were at the Val. So I left other members to attend to it. And then they attended to it. Then we were communicating with them constantly with the recoveries that were recovered at the crime scene and what was going on at the crime scene.
And you refer... continue?
Yes, Commissioners.
Continue, Witness A.
Yes, Commissioners. In this crime scene, we were told that the police that were attending there recovered a motor vehicle, which is a Hyundai i20, which inside had a bag that was loaded with 3 firearms, of which one was a rifle and 2 were pistol and a lot of ammunition.
Now, you say in your statement that the I-20 was spotted at the murder scene at the time of the murder on CCTV cameras. When were you informed of that?
That is correct, Commissioners. As I said, that we were briefed continuously as we were at the scene. The information that kept coming in was that in the morning at around 7 of the same day, which is the 17th of April, at the crime scene, 2 vehicles were seen in the CCTV cameras. And then one of those vehicles was a Hyundai, the same Hyundai that now is being recovered at Musa's house. And then we were told that this vehicle was driving around the crime scene, making turns with the Mercedes-Benz that was later recovered with suspect number 3 at Cape Rivier. Now, this information is from the members that attended the crime scene at Vereeniging, that watched the footage at the crime scene and told us that they seeing these vehicles, and then now gave information for us and other units to see if these cars that we're talking about match the description that they're giving us.
Witness A, where you say these 2 vehicles were seen in the morning at the crime scene, which crime scene are we talking about?
I'm now talking the crime scene where Mr. Amar Swart was made at the Commissioners in Vereeniging at Duncanville.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Baloyi. We have displayed the visual of the Hyundai and the witness A. I'm not sure if you can see the screen, but you do have hard copies of these documents, and I think you are able to look at it from your side on your computer. Do you see what we see, or do you have it on your laptop?
I cannot see it from the display, but I have it here with me from the documents that I have, Commissioners.
Okay, can you describe for us?
Can't we screen share for the witness to see, for us to be sure that the witness is looking at what we are looking at?
We can attempt to do so, Chair.
Witness A?
Just
Yes, Commissioners.
While they are busy sorting out the visuals, when you talk about a Mercedes-Benz, just be clear because evidence is being transcribed. There's a Mercedes-Benz Viano and a Mercedes-Benz C200. So when you refer to a Mercedes-Benz, please just clarify which one you are referring to.
Thank you, Commissioner. In this instance, I refer to a Mercedes-Benz C200, which is a sedan.
Just a minute. I saw on my screen a whole lot of documents, and I'm not sure how safe that is.
We have redacted the necessary information, Chair.
So when I see all of those documents, I should not be worried.
No, Chair, not at all. It is just a description of what is shown in the photo, and the relevant personal information has been redacted.
All right. Thank you then. Are we still trying?
Yes, Chair. We're just trying to figure out how to share screen. Okay. Witness A, are you able to see the screen?
Yes, Commissioners, I can see this screen clearly.
Okay. Can you tell us what we're looking at here?
At the screen, I'm seeing two vehicles. I will talk to the one that is in front of the buggy, which is a white vehicle. Then it looks like it is actually a Hyundai i20 that was. So
We can hear you.
the vicinity of the crime scene. It's 7 o'clock. It's actually 7:01.
Yes, that's the second one. We'll go there now. That's the second image. Can you hear us, Witness A?
And in the second image, it is the same. Sorry, Commissioners.
Please proceed.
Thank you, Commissioners. And this image, it is the same vehicle, the Hyundai i20, and then on this one, it is seen with the vehicle that was driven by Mr. Swart, the deceased.
If you can go to the next one.
Yes, Commissioners, the next one is now the vehicle of the deceased standing right in front of the gate of where he was working, and then we seeing the Hyundai i20 standing next to it.
And this is the Hyundai i20 that was found at the house in Kew.
This is the Hyundai i20 that was found at the house in Kew, the house that belongs to Musa Kekana, who was arrested with Michael Bullet down.
Just a moment, Advocate Seagulls. Witness A, the other vehicle that you've described and you say was being driven by the deceased, can we please identify it? Make and model? You don't have to give us the year. I assume you won't know. Just the color, make and model.
Correct, Commissioner. I wouldn't know the year model, but it is a Ford double cab buggy.
So it's a silver Ford Ranger.
It's a silver Ford Ranger double cab. Thank you, Commissioner.
Yes.
Witness XA, rather, if you just go back to the very first shot, Ms. Seagulls. Yes. You've got two vehicles there. There's the white one, which I think you've identified as the Hyundai i20. Is your evidence that the silver vehicle that we see there is the vehicle driven by Mr. Swart?
Correct, Commissioner. It is.
Okay, let's go to the second shot. And you say that yellow circle there, it's that Hyundai now in the middle of the road. And perhaps for the record, we should describe where it is. In the first shot, the vehicle is on the side of the road. Is that correct? In the very first shot?
That is correct, Commissioner.
Now, in the second shot, there's a white vehicle circled in the middle of the road. You're saying it's the same vehicle, the i20 Hyundai.
This is the same vehicle.
And the one in front, you say that's Mr. Swart.
That is correct, Commissioner.
Let's go to the third shot. Now, in fact, in the shot just above, Ms. Siegel, there are two shots in the picture. The first one now shows the white vehicle almost abreast with the silver vehicle, both facing in the same direction. Is that the same vehicle that was in the middle of the road in the previous shot? Is that your evidence?
That is correct, Commissioner.
All right. Now, and that is still the Hyundai. Now, in the second shot of what we are looking at, there are in fact two vehicles, white vehicles, and none of them is facing the same direction as the silver vehicle. Can you just explain that for the record? What are we seeing on the record? Which one is the Hyundai i20? Where is it facing now? Because you have two vehicles now, and there's only one car that's facing towards us in this picture, and it's the silver vehicle. Just explain the shot we're looking at.
That is correct, Commissioner. The Hyundai vehicle will be the one that is facing to the vehicle of the deceased, Mr. Swart. And then that other one, I think it is the vehicle that is just in motion on the street, is driving past.
So the one closest to the silver vehicle, you're saying that's the Hyundai i20?
Correct, Commissioner.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Siegels.
Thank you, Commissioner Baloyi.
Before we leave the photos, I see that above the top photo, there is commentary. I'm not sure if this witness is going to be giving evidence on that commentary or if it's for somebody else.
No, it's not for this witness.
Thank you.
Can we go to page 6 of your statement, Witness A? At paragraph 20, you then deal with the Viano belonging to Mr. Tau, which you also say was parked at the house in Kew.
That's correct, Commissioner. This Viano that belongs to Tau was parked at Q during the commission of crime. Q, which is the house of Musa Kekana.
In your statement, you are not as categorical as you are now. You say it appears that the Viano belonging to Tau was initially parked at Kekana's house. Do you want to explain the difference in how you phrase this?
Yes, Commissioner. I think that is just the wording. The fact is that it was parked there because when this Hyundai i20 drove back from Vereeniging, it was actually surveyed and followed by the people that were working with the police, and it was seen entering the house that belongs to Musa, and then the Viano drove out of the house. So that puts the Viano right where this I-20 was recovered later on.
Thank you, Commissioner. Then we do have the tracker information for the Viano, which we have displayed. Can you see it, Witness A?
Yes, I can see, Commissioners.
Can you tell us what we're looking at and what does it confirm?
It confirms that this Viano was actually a house that belongs to Michael Puletau at that given time, which is 3:12 minutes in the morning when the ignition started. Then at around 3:31, then it was parked and the ignition was switched off at Musa's house. So it is confirmed that it was parked there in a duration when the crime was committed in Vereeniging.
You are referring to the last entry there. I don't know if you can see it clearly, where it says 17 April 2024 at 0403, Viano arrives at Musa Kekana's house, ignition off.
Yes, Commissioners.
Thank you. In paragraph 21, you had already spoken about the firearms that were found and the ammunition, but you mentioned that you did not accompany the team. So how did you become aware of that information?
We had constant communication with the team that was left back at Brimley as we moved to the van with witness BE. So they kept us informed as about what was happening, what was recovered in that crime scene, which is at Brimley and the house of Musa.
And then insofar as you refer to a large amount of ammunition that was found in a bag in the I-20, was this used ammunition or unused?
No, these were bullets, like the unused live ammunition, as they will be called, Commissioners.
Thank you. Can we then move on to the third scene, which you refer to with reference to a case number, clip refill? We are now at paragraph 22 of your statement.
Yes, Commissioner, the third scene will be the scene that was at R59 North at Engine Garage, where the person that was arrested there is TF Fred Mabusela, and he was driving that Mercedes-Benz, the C200, grey in color. So he was stuck there with his rim damaged, And then this is also a vehicle that I mentioned earlier on that it was seen in the CCTV video footage at the crime scene before the shooting of Ahmad Swart.
If you can just pause there, Witness A, so that we can